Welcome to Leo for Leos. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings for the astrological sign of Leos. Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm a Leo as well, so this is why the channel is called Leo for Leos. Cross watchers and fellow readers are welcome. However, I do want to give you a heads up that I read the cards as I see them, and not always the way that they're traditionally done. So let's get started. I'm going to be using the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, the Centennial Edition. I love this little can. This is my favorite deck. And I'm going to be reading for February 15th through the 29th. We got 29 days in February this year, leap year. So we'll see what happens. I did a bit of shuffling in the I did a bit of pre-shuffling is what I'm trying to say. So I shouldn't have to shuffle too much. Should cut down on some of the shuffling. So I'm just going to do a little bit of mixing it up here. This is for the sign of Leo. It's just the cards are just so they're sliding around in my hand right now. Oh. They feel very light too and fluffy. You get a very light sense of February's gonna maybe February, the last part of February will be very light and fluffy. I don't know, January has been intense so far. January has been really intense, a lot of self-realization. February is kind of like moving out of that space, but it still feels strange. We got yes, okay. That's how you're coming into. This is a little bit of January there, and this is definitely the beginning of February. We need to know what happens at the end of February for Leos, for the sign of Leos. February 15th to the 29th. Ooh. Okay, I'm choosing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this Five of Pentacles is really here talking about kind of the vibe that was happening in January, like late January, where there was a lot of feelings of confusion, and that kind of carried on until the beginning of February, where there's just like trying to figure out this thing, like figure out how to make all the plans work. And there's a feeling, or was a feeling, of defeat, kind of, not totally defeat, but there was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. This is really tough. I thought that 2020 was going to be a year of progress and things, really turning around for me. And I haven't seen any change, and I haven't seen any progress, and things look like they're going in the opposite direction. And so that's where this feeling is coming from. And it's not just you, it's a lot of people are going through this incredible feeling of like, did I make the right choices to end up where I am? It's all about choices and understanding what those choices were that you made in the past, and also what choices you have in the future. So this is just reviewing an old story that we have. This isn't February, but this is like a recap of the last couple of months. Okay, so into February, there's this like feeling like energy in February, the beginning of February, and possibly for many of you, a revisit of spiritual ideas and concepts, or just diving deeper into your spiritual self and embracing the unknown, embracing what it is that's out there that we don't know and don't understand. We don't know how good luck happens, and we don't know how bad luck happens. Like it's like, how do we know what's going to happen in the next moment? And we don't know that, but we're embracing that. And also, there may also be strings of opportunities that appear, and those opportunities are incredibly fruitful. This is an idea that is truly going to come at the end, or the last part of February. This is not happening any sooner, but it definitely comes after like the 14th, 15th. You may get an incredible idea. And I'm like literally on the nose, like 15th, 14th, 15th. Let's find out a little bit more about this idea, because it looks like it's pretty interesting. Let's find out more about this idea. What kind of idea is this? Tell us about the idea. Is it a good idea? Is it a good idea? Okay, this is an idea you'll have to fight for. You may have to like negotiate, or it's not an easy idea. It's an idea that will put a lot of emphasis on struggle. There's struggle in this idea. You'll have to do a lot of work to make this this idea happen. So this isn't an idea you can just kind of like keep doing what you're doing and yeah, this is not an idea that's going to be easy. This is an idea that requires a lot of hard work, negotiation, some compromise, perhaps even. It's going to take some assessing, a lot of assessing. Are you trying to see if it works? Look at the guy's head is tilted there. He's like, is this going to fit with my lifestyle? Is this going to work? I don't know. This is going to be an idea you're going to just love to do, though. This is right up your alley. This is going to be, it's going to expand your excitement, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you. This is going to show off your expertise. It's going to land you in a spot of being an expert in your field, whatever it is that you do. I think there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition. I'll put you in a place where you'll have to compete for attention. But is it a good idea? Is this a profitable idea? Is this one that Leos should take? I need a card that says yes to me. And the card that appears is that you may need to rein it back. So this is the card of a lot of potential that is halted. It's like, not ready to go just yet. There's still something not right with the plan. The idea is the opportunity or something is just not right for you. It's not a right fit. You can take it on, and I don't know what might happen then. But the thing is that Leos do want to go. There is a sense of excitement and like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's go let's do this new idea. Just be aware of, like, you've already got something that you've built, okay? You've already got a foundation of something going on, Leos, that's actually good. And even though things aren't going fast enough, they're not happening quick enough, they may not, you may have to do some things later on that may require you to, like, put your idea on hold for a while. We need to concentrate on the things that we're building and not so much getting to the end of the finish line. It's telling us to stay put. And that's what it's telling us. There's a lot of potential, and Leos want to get out there and mix it up and show, look, in all of our glory, in all of the glory that is Leo, okay, witness it now. We want to get out there and be like, look at me, okay, I am the incredible Leo. But it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Because it's going to happen, but it needs time. We're going to move on to the Star card. The Star card is about that wish and that dream. Okay, you still have that wish and that dream so vivid in your mind. Okay, it's so vivid in your mind. Hey, look, if it means taking 5 minutes to, like, work on your vision board, go on and do that. Okay, or if you want to just, like, sit and dream for 10 minutes, daydream for 10 minutes about the kind of life you want, where you want to go, the people you want to speak to, or spend time with. And this is so important because if you don't get a chance to dream and you don't get a chance to manifest, okay? So I want to get a couple of notes on this dream. This dream has to do with an idea, or maybe an idea of what you think life should be. Okay, that maybe let's see if that's a good thing here. Let's see. Oh, time. Okay. So this idea that you have that's so powerful, that's really driving you, this vision of the future, is going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. There's no other way to say that better. And I may have said this in many other videos talking about 2020. There's a sense of impatient, like, I need to get this. This is taking way too long. I'm uh, I'm I'm tired of waiting. I'm sick and tired of waiting. But honestly, that is the solution. That is the solution. It's not that it's too romantic. It's not that it's too unrealistic. It's actually not unrealistic. But in order for it to manifest, it needs time. It needs time. It needs time. Sorry to reinforce that to you guys, but that's exactly what's going on here. There's a lot of, from back in February where there was a lot of like, I don't know if this is going to work. There's still that lingering feeling into the end of February. That's still lingering. It's still happening here. And the universe is saying time. Look at these two guys together. It's talking about being patient. It's talking about being patient right there. Now we're going to go off to the sun, and that's clarity. That's clarity of vision. And Leo's, instead of trying to create new ways of making things go faster, why not perfect the vision of the dream? Just perfect the vision of the dream. Because where there's doubts and areas where you're not certain about how things are going, there can be more confidence imbued into the thing that you're believing in with vision and focus. Those are two incredibly powerful words that are kind of thrown around in our world a lot. Vision, focus. It doesn't mean anything until you have them. Partnership. That's part of the dream, isn't it? Having a partnership that is harmonious. It could even be a relationship or the kind of relationship that you may want to have. Tell me more. Tell me more. Crying over spilled milk. Lamenting over the past. But all is not lost because you still have things. As you've lost a lot, more than you have, but you still have. And that's part of the clarity of vision. I think, is this a bad thing? Right? It's kind of good to look back on your past mistakes and see where it is that you need to course correct, like little things here and there that you need to tweak. We talked about that for February. bam, strength. Leos need to be strong, to be patient and strong. Beautiful, beautiful. Just incredible here. To temper the anger, to temper the urges to go run off and do something that seems impulsive, to run off and go do the new idea. Hey, you can, if you take this class, you're going to take a shortcut to this thing, and the class is like $2,100. Like, no. No, it's not a shortcut. It's not a shortcut. The universe is saying, be patient, have strength. It knows that you're a star. It knows that you have great potential. But you got to sit this one out. But not just sit it out. I mean, if you look at these two lions, though, from the Chariot, they're kind of just like, they're totally chill. Totally chill. And if you look at the lion on top of the Wheel of Fortune, just kind of, just chilling out. And if you look at the lion, because this is all talking to Leos, right? If you look at the lion in the Strength card, it's happy. A little content. You know? So maybe Leos need to find the simple joys of the journey. The journey. Enjoy the process. It's hard to enjoy the process when you're trying to figure out your bills and money's involved, right? Who can enjoy the process when the bill collectors come? When you're looking at your finances and you're like, how is this going to make sense here? This doesn't add up. I need X amount more money coming in. And I need this process to go faster. That's what's happening with Leos. Especially, it's the same theme from January spilling into February. Even though I feel like in February there's a lighter sense of it. It's not as dark as it was in January. Because there's so much pressure to do and make change and be different and start off new and be fresh. Now that February has come in, there's more of a smoothing out of some of those wrinkles in time. You know, there's a bit of grace to it. But it's definitely up to you at this point to stay on course, to keep your vision, to be patient. Whatever you're doing, keep doing exactly that. Don't stop. Okay, let's move on because we accidentally started talking about this. But we got the message for that all up in the Chariot there. This is all reinforcing itself. To be patient. And that's the feeling, you know, this card, the Seven of Pentacles, this card, the Seven of Pentacles, is really about being impatient. Like wishing things would go faster. Waiting for your ships to come in is the common description of the card. And that's true. You're waiting patiently. I mean, if you look at the lands beyond this person, it's barren. The lands are barren. There's no home, the sky is somewhat gray. There's a lot of sadness and depression. Just trying to figure out, like, man, what am I doing wrong? Am I not giving it, you know, the plants enough water? Am I not giving it enough time? What am I doing wrong here? There we go, backing it all up. I love when the cards are kind of like backing up what I'm saying. And this is talking about strategy. Strategy is so important here because it's it's not bad to feel those impatient feelings. Let me just put that out there. It's not bad to have impatient feelings. It's okay. But maybe if you focused your energy of that feeling of being impatient and look at your strategy and see if it needs tweaking, if it needs a little change, if it needs just a little adjustment. Nothing big. Big adjustments are not good at this time. Small tweaks lead to giant peaks. And that's what's happening here. Small tweaks lead to giant peaks. I mean, really, if you look beyond the card, if you look beyond the landscape in this card, there's a lot of mountains and places to conquer. There's greenery all around. And he's looking off into the distance. He may even be, if you consider it, he may even be looking back in the process of time to see where things aren't correct or where they need some help. Yeah, because for me, I guess when people are looking, when I look at the cards and people are looking kind of behind them, it's always seems to be, to me, looking in the past. But if they're looking in this direction, they're looking at their future. That's what I always associate people like. This person is looking towards the future, but he's looking at it negatively, right? Anyway, that's just my little idea there when I look at him. I think he's looking at the past to see how he can eventually get that globe there. You have the world in his hands, literally. And assessing everything that he has, looking across every landscape of your world to figure this out. There's got to be an answer in here, is what you're saying and what you're thinking. There's got to be a way. King of Cups here. You're emotional. Sensitivity. This is not an easy time for you. I mean, it's an easy time that is, there's nothing really terrible going on. It just feels Leos need security. And because times are changing, that can uproot the security that a lot of people in general feel. Not just Leos are the only people who need security, but we are fixed signs. So we like things to be a certain way sometimes. We like things to be a certain way all the time. Even if it's bad, sometimes we just like it to be the same. At least we know what to expect. And this could be very upsetting for a lot of people. Like, I don't know where tomorrow is going to lead. I don't know what's going to I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's scary for a lot of people. Very scary. Like, what is going to happen tomorrow? Don't know. And so the King of Cups is a king. Okay? It's a king. So he knows how to master these treacherous waters of emotional sensitivity. And you look at his face, and he's got a stern face. He's like, I'm going to get through this. There's something very, very intense about the look on his face. And his right foot is forward. it's in a kind of a little bit of aggressive gritting there. Like, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to get through this. So I kind of like that energy for Leos. Manifesting. Okay. So, through that intense emotional feeling that you have, you're still manifesting things into your world that will lead to the solution. I love that, to be honest. And that is, again, doing small little things, strategizing. Strategizing, so important. So important. Looking at all the details of the things that you're doing and seeing where you can make small, tiny changes, small, teeny, tiny changes. Just to, just to improve slowly, gradually change. Yeah, the magician is really like, hey, look, if you do have a vision board, maybe you need to look at the vision board and maybe edit some things, remove some things, add some things, clarify some things, just so that way you can, again, be clear about your vision, to be focused on what you're doing. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get to the things that you want? And that strategizing, going over the strategy, and not abandoning it for a new idea, a new proposition. Hey, do you want to come to my studio and take pictures for 3 hours for a week? The universe says no. So let's see. We've gotten we've gotten that clarity of vision. We've gotten that clarity of vision. We're manifesting. We're looking into the past and strategizing. And it feels so big that it feels like a burden to us. A big burden to get everything done. It feels so heavy on the shoulders. And mind you guys, there's a retrograde happening at the end of, somewhere around the end of February. And that will affect doing any big changes, especially where you have to depend on technology or communication. That wouldn't be cool. Like if somebody says, hey, you want to do X, Y, and Z, be clear and say no. Don't say, well, maybe I'll think about it, because the misinterpretation will be yes, and that could lead to a big moment of that could be a big mess for you to have to deal with. While trying to also get your dream together. It could be a sideline to the dream. It seems like it's part of the dream, but actually it's a sideline to the dream. Be strong. Be strong. So I'm going to shuffle for this burden. I want to know a little bit more about this burden and why it feels like a burden. I have the Empress here, which is a card of growth and kind of birthing something new. It could also be a feminine entity that is really coming in to be sort of a representative of somebody who you're talking to or making a deal with, or who is presenting an idea to you, or is part of this whole thing. Let's see if I can clarify that more. This is interesting. Fool, okay. Juggling, okay. Yeah, this is talking about a person who presents a brand new idea to you. This is about a person who is a very incredible woman, or a male with a feminine energy that is very, very, very charismatic, and anything they pretty much touches grows, maybe introducing a new idea or concept that's going on, and they may be saying, hey, look, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, and you're like, okay, that seems really interesting, because I love it, because it's new, it's fresh, it's a great idea, I love it, add that to my repertoire, this will be great. And whatever binding thing that it is that you're doing with this person, you have to stick with it. There's a sense of loyalty behind that, your commitment or your agreeance to do whatever it is. It's like, oh, it's now ironclad. And this is where miscommunication could happen. And we have the juggling, which is really a conflict of interest for you. Again, your dream is here, and you have to focus your attention on this thing that you really, really don't find too interesting. But you're kind of forced into this moment of this burden that's happening here. So again, be aware of any new commitments and things people, oh, I just went on ahead and signed you up for this. Beware of that kind of thing. Or somebody, this could also happen, is that you say, you know what, I'd really love to go to the gym. It's like, well, you know what, I have an extra ticket for classes, and for Zumba classes, and I just went on ahead and signed you up. Somebody who means well, somebody who's great, but do you have time for Zumba classes? It could be a problem. Lots of activities happening. Lots of things here for you to do. Lots of calls, lots of text messages back and forth, like figuring things out. This may not be avoidable either. And that's going to put you into something new. You're going to be stepping into something new. This is probably, I'm going to say this, for some of you, this is going to be unavoidable. It's an extra burden that just kind of shows up at the end of February. You may not like it. I mean, you may like the idea of doing it. It may be exciting and fantastically new. But you're going to have to understand that it's going to be a juggle. It's going to be a juggle. And it's not going to be a pretty juggle either. The only thing that will get you through this is a great deal of discipline. You're going to have to just be like, okay, now we're going to get up every morning at 5:30 in the morning. I'm just making that as a thing. Not everybody will have to do that. But you're going to have to be super strict on yourself and really tie the reins tight in order to pull this off. Really tie it tight. Can it happen? I think you can do it, but at the same time, I like for my Leos to be comfortable. Okay, but maybe if you get kind of thrown into this new thing that you didn't know you were going to be thrown into, the only thing that's going to get you to like get through it is the Emperor, being disciplined and really holding yourself accountable for everything. Remember that Fool card had the dog of loyalty. Like whatever you say, follow through. I'm going to be there. Be there. You say you're going to be there. Be there. Just there's an opportunity for you to say no to at any time to any of this stuff. Even if it means like, hey, I'm going to have to walk away from a friendship, or I'm going to have to stand up for myself here and say no. Really judge things out. So we're going to move on to temperance, which is going to be about managing all of this. Managing everything. Like, how do you manage to like chase your dreams and help other people with their stuff, and also like be a kind person and not take out your frustrations on people around you because things aren't going your way. It's life balance, but it's also creating the perfect balance, not just creating a formula for your life, but again, the tweaking we were talking about before. Lots of tweaking. All right, we got the wonderful, wonderful, emotionally happy Ace of Cups. Something about this thing that you're going to agree to is actually going to give you some fulfillment emotionally. And that is so important here because that's what ties us to any of the things that we do. It's that emotional connection. Why do you meet with your friend on Friday evenings to catch up? Because it makes you feel good. Why do you stay in a relationship with someone who's not exactly perfect? Because there's something about that person that emotionally satisfies you. If not, then maybe you should bounce. Easy thing to say. Bounce if you know. Takes a lot. Sometimes it takes a lot more to just do that. Okay. So, let's look at these and see how they're connected. All right, so what I'm seeing here is that this search for emotional happiness will lead you to make a decision. And that decision will be a decision. It's a big decision. You notice the king is bigger than everything else. It's a huge decision. But the thing is that you can make a decision and not act on it. Okay? We have more decision cards here. You can make a decision and not act on it because the time to act on any of the stuff that's going on here is going to be in March. March is going to be more of the action month for you. April is going to be a healing month for you. You're still doing a lot of work in February too. It's a work month. You work through the whole thing on your plan as normal. Don't change any of that. But it looks like you want to make some decisions here. And let's talk about that and that's based on your search and your desire for this emotional happiness. To do with the lovers, huh? Has to do with relationships. You really want, if you don't already have like a great relationship with someone, for people who are already in relationships with someone they really, really are satisfied with, this is about like making further plans to strengthen that relationship. It's like, or even keep that relationship. And for people who are looking for this, you may be in a relationship already and things aren't working out. This could be the case as well. Or you could be single. It's like having that emotionally fulfilling relationship is really making you make some decisions here. And we're going to see where that leads. This is talking about your wants here. These are talking about your wants, having a legacy, and healing from the past. And for some of you, having that new relationship is a part of healing from past relationships that didn't work, past hurts. And somehow that person that you're interested in, or that person that you want to be interested in, or possibly the person you're in with, you want them to be part of your business. And then we have the Queen of Cups, which is really talking about being very graceful about this. And to me, the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords, they're kind of like opposing entities. All right, we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back. I just want to know about this decision here, this Two of Swords decision that might be in a place of interest to know about. The Moon, a secret revealed. There is going to be a secret revealed. And it's going to be one that's going to make you kind of happy about. It's going to serve you well. And you're going to be using your intuition. In order to make this decision. Again, I don't want people to think that don't want you to make, that I'm saying don't make decisions. And again, you don't have to make a decision. You don't have to act on a decision when you make a decision. Or when you decide something, you don't have to always act on the decision right away. So it's okay to make decisions and then implement them in another month, like March. Okay. And so here we're talking about the foundation, building that foundation stronger than ever, making it solid, having the right people around you, possibly the right partner. So far, this has been a battle of what you want versus reality. And I know a lot of Leos have been going through the process of creating a new foundation, but it is going to take time. Because you've got a lot more work to do. This is not a complete home. This is just like the groundwork for a home. So there's a lot more work to be done. It's not strong enough to stand up on its own. But you're creating the foundation. And there's so much desire to want to go and do so much. Like go to exotic places or interesting places or do interesting things. I think you want change, but you know, for a lot of people, change is very terrifying. It's very terrifying to change. But there's a sense of adventure that's desired here. I want to meet new people, experience new things. Creativity. This is really talking about, I feel like this is your answer card. I feel like this is your answer card for this. Let's see. This reminds me of last month's reading. Now this reminds me of last month's reading completely. But it's whatever it is that you're deciding to do, it's diving deeper into your creativity. Go crazy. Yeah, get into your creativity. Again, creativity is a great way to enjoy the process of what you're doing. This is a great way to enjoy the process. Let's move on to the last card here. This decisions here that you may need to make here that can hurt other people. It may be a harsh decision, and you may have to tell somebody, no, I'm not going to do that. Or, hey, you know, even though it's playing into the fulfilling, emotional, satisfying thing that I want out of life, I've got to stand up for myself and say, no, this is not what I really want. This is not leading down the path that I desire. Again, there could be a misinterpretation too. Like with the retrograde happening, for a lot of people, misinterpretations happening all around. It's not just you or not just, you know, poor Leo. It's going to be happening to everyone. Everyone's going to experience that. And it may be part of like announcing too. Like, hey, I'm announcing that I'm not going to be part of this thing anymore, or I'm announcing that I'm going to start a new thing or whatever. And you may get some kickback of people saying, hey, you know, what do you mean by that? It might even be a tweet or a post that you put that people just misinterpret. I'm sorry about that. The battery ran out and now I'm back several hours later. So let's see if I can recap what it was that was going on here. Okay, so we have this offer that you might take, and if you take it, you're kind of obligated to take it. It's a bit of a burden. And there's an opportunity for you to like dive deeper into your creativity. I believe, let's talk about creativity right now, because I feel like your creativity is really going to be the saving grace in all this. It's going to be the one thing that you can depend on to carry you through this time period and usher you the more confidence and more give you more confident in what you're doing. It's not just, I mean, I believe for a lot of Leos, you're very confident about what you're doing, but it's more like seeing the proof that it actually is going to work, that it's going to actually take care of you in your future, that you're going down the right path. You are, and again, any time that you get a chance to show how creative you are, this is going to be exactly what you need to push you forward. Okay, creativity is the answer here. So we have this kind of energy of making decisions that can probably hurt a lot of people, and sort of feeling very self-righteous about it, and making an announcement and telling the world, like, this is what I'm doing from now on. Again, what my other thing that I want to stress is that you can make a decision, but you don't have to make an announcement until like mid-March, when things are doing much better, when we're out of the retrograde, so that way things aren't misconceived. Okay, so I've got a card here. I've got enjoy the process is what I'm saying. I said this before. Enjoy the process of what's happening. Enjoy how you're getting from one level to the next. There's a sense of nostalgia in this whole process. Something about it is something you've done before, and maybe it's just about like doing it right this time. Not making the same mistakes from the past, but creating new and successful methods. King of Pentacles. I think that's gonna, that's the card that really tells me that Leos are gonna be okay. If you just continue on your path, the King of Pentacles is a master of money and business. Let's get a couple of extra cards here. I've got the Angel Answers Oracle cards here. Think of a question that you have, the most burning question that you have, and we'll see what the cards say. Okay, let's see. The situation will improve. Wow, incredible. That's incredible. So I think that's self-explanatory. That's self-explanatory. But let's look at it and see what this book says little cool little book says. Yes, that comes with a little book, and I'm going to read out of. Let's see what it says. The situation will improve. Your angels want you to know that they are aware that things look difficult right now. However, the situation is going to improve. It may take some time, and there will be most likely some hard work ahead of you. But the effort you put forth will be worth it, and things are going to be better. Now is not the time to give up on wounded friendships or ailing relationships. There is still hope for the future. Take heart and continue to work toward a partnership where both parties are fulfilled and happy in the future. So, I don't know if you remember a few minutes ago, I said that there could be a possibility that you decide that this project or whatever that's being offered may not be what you're looking for. You might have to break ties. And I would really caution about doing it in a very abrupt way. I'm not a big fan of this card always, but as with many of the cards, it has many sides, many facets to it. There's a positive and a negative and a so-so. It's got many meanings to it. So in this particular case, it could be a warning not to be cold and meticulous about something like, about your decisions. It could also be a saying, yes, you have to, or you should. But whatever comes out, there is an announcement about what you decide you're going to do. It's not going to be, it's going to be something people will be able to at least see. Even if you don't say out loud, I'm not involved anymore, your actions are going to show people that you're not involved anymore. And they'll pick up the hint. And I think from whatever it is that you decide, it is going to be something that you can celebrate. Again, enjoying the process of making your way, growing your, building your foundation, creating a new life for yourself full of happiness and hope. You have to walk through the door happy. Okay, so what I'm saying is that you have to walk through the door happy if you want the future to be happy. So you have to find ways to make yourself happy, even if it's like buying a toy or eating your favorite dessert or watching your favorite movie. Find small ways where you can find the joy in life. And don't give up on your dreams and your hopes, even though it may not look like things are working out always the way you want it. Keep going at it. Don't give up. This situation will improve. And even just looking back on the past and looking back on your past relationships, how far you've come, how far you've come. So we started out with the destitute attitude, or just feeling sort of like things aren't working out. Things aren't working out terribly well for us. However, this is how you end the month. This is how you end the month, knowing something fantastic is coming towards you in your future. Whatever your grind is, keep on grinding. That same old grind. I know it's boring. You're waiting for things to happen, and they're not happening fast enough. But There it is. The situation will improve. Well, that's my reading. I want to thank you so very much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so for Leo monthly readings. And be sure to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when the next video gets posted. Many blessings to you, my awesome Leos! And remember, this channel is for you and you alone.